Alrighty, Utah fans and anybody else that happened to stumble onto my YouTube channel. I've got to apologize for my absence for about the last month, maybe even a month exactly, I'm not sure. Dang close to it. But, you know, I did a video about the Utah's heartbreaking loss in the Rose Bowl to Ohio State, who played great. Both teams played very well, and it was an exciting game. And I did that, and my intent has always been to provide, you know, the same kind of coverage for basketball and gymnastics that I've been providing for football. And gymnastics deserves a lot better right now because they are fan-frickin-tastic, baby! Yeah, we're number two. And if you put two twos together, that's 22, which is Aaron Lowe and Ty Jordan. So there you go. Have at it. But basketball is a little more difficult right now. We're in a big doldrum time, and it's not fun covering a 10-game losing streak. Oh, my gosh. Now, we're going to talk about basketball and all the work they need to do to get out of where they're at and be competitive, not just in every game, but be competitive in terms of winning the Pac-12 championship, getting back to the NCAA and deep in the NCAA, etc. But we're also going to talk about the awesome gymnastics team that is the #2 ranked Utah Red Rocks. Let's go right after this. See you on the other side.
And they'll run it, Jordan! Ty Jordan! See you later! Touchdown, Utah!
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Back to Van Dyke, deep three up. And good! It's good!
They just need this to finish their best beam rotation of the year. And look at Gordon says, get on your feet.
Alrighty, we are back, and hope you enjoyed that, as always. By the way, did you like that little thing at the very beginning with the U? I think it's really cool. My son did that for me over the break, over the, school break for Christmas and whatnot, and so I appreciate him. Shout out to Jansen for doing that for me. He also does my episode thing that you just saw, and I appreciate that as well. Now, I want to talk a little bit about basketball before we get in to the really good sport, which is gymnastics. So let's talk about basketball. So we are currently on a 10-game losing streak. Yikes! Now that, in a lot of those games, they haven't even been competitive. Now, conversely, against UCLA, we almost beat them. They're ranked #3 right now. Holy moly. We have a little bit of potential. We have some talent. Brandon Carlson's, a very good player. And I think some of our young guys like Lazar Stefanovic and Gabe Kaplan, I think, they've got a lot of potential. I can see both of them being strong contributors throughout their career. I don't know if they have all-conference potential, but, Lazar has won Freshman of the Week 4 times in a row. He really needs to get more consistent with his shooting, but, a lot of freshmen do. So I think that's going to be Gabe's specialty. They both play hard on defense, which is always a good thing. They both have decent size for, point/2 guards and, kind of small for the small forward and maybe not athletic enough, but we've got them, and then we've got a couple other players. One of our players that I really like, Boston Holt, is out for the rest of the season with an injury, a knee injury, and I'm hoping that he'll be back in full strength, ready to go for, fall camp. He looked like he had a lot of promise. And there's a couple of other players, like Raleigh Wooster, who's our starting point guard. Jury's definitely out on him. I think we need an upgrade to be not only competitive for the Pac-12 title, but to get back and semi-deep into the NCAA tournament. Here's what I think we need. one, we need Brandon back next year. And two, we need a huge upgrade in athleticism, basically throughout every position. Brandon's quite athletic, and so, but, you know, next year is going to be probably his last year. So we really need to get athletes at every position. We're really weak at the 4 right now. We've got one person at the 4 who's a kind of a legit 4 size-wise. But, you know, nice guy. I don't want to bash the guy, but he's just not a Pac-12 level player, not a P5 level player. And I really feel like we need a 6'8" to 6'10" guy, the taller the better, who's athletic, above average athleticism, who's got some skills, you know, maybe some back to the basket kind of plays that, you know, he can play with. He's comfortable playing with his back to the basket. You know, maybe he has only a mid-range shot when he's facing up. Maybe he can hit a few from the 3. That would be great. Players like that usually go to Kentucky and any other number of places, you know, Kansas, Gonzaga lately, Duke, of course, North Carolina. They go to those places, the really good ones. So for me, you know, an athletic 4 who's relatively long and who can, you know, has decent lateral quickness so that he can stay in front of his guy and play good hard defense, gets a lot of good rebounds. He's strong on the boards. And like I said, has some skills on the offensive end so that he's just not like a garbage guy where he gets the rebounds and puts them back, although I hope he does that too. But I feel like that's what we need at the 4 position. We're going to need a good replacement for Brandon because, like I said, next year is Brandon's last year. So we're going to need the same kind of player, but maybe a couple inches taller for the 5 spot. And then, and we do have a commitment from a guy whose you know, highlight tapes I've watched, and he seems like he's going to be a really good player for us. He's 6'5", well built, got an NBA body already, ready to go, ready to come in and contribute as a freshman in terms of physicality. He's above average athlete by far, probably will be the best athlete on our team, at least right up there with Brandon, if not a better athlete than Brandon. He can handle the ball. He's got, you know, good court vision, makes good passes, and I can't remember his name. It's kind of a different name. He's from Canada. He's participating in like an NBA development league or something along those lines, but he can shoot. He's definitely got good form and shoots at a good rate. And so that's good. He's like 6'5", 210, 220, somewhere in there. So he'll be playing 2 guard and small forward, although I think he can also handle the point, which would be good because he has good size for a point guard. So that's good. So we've got him, but we need a 4, like I said, preferably 2, but I'll be happy with 1 at this point, and some kind of decent backup. We need more depth for sure. Then we need a 3, somebody 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", somewhere in there, who's got some athleticism, who can shoot. We need more shooters because, you know, that's what's you know, look at Gonzaga. They're able to shoot, all of them. About every one of them can shoot. There's a couple that aren't as good, but for the most part, they can all shoot. And you look at any really good team, and they've got a number of shooters so that you can't, you know, key on one player. And so we need some at every position. But so, and again, they have to be athletic so that they can stay in front of the athletic players that they'll be playing against night in and night out at the in the Pac-12 and against the other Power 5 teams that we play in whatever tournaments we're in and in our regular preseason games and whatnot. So, and then I think just as importantly, and maybe more so, we need a really good point guard. somebody who can, who's quick enough to create his own shot, who can get to the hoop and finish at the hoop. You know, athletic enough to maybe finish strong with a dunk, but also has the court vision that if the defense collapses on him, he can kick it out to a wing or a corner or whatever and get Gabe Madsen or the new kid who's coming in, or Lazar, or, you know, maybe a new small forward who can shoot, you know, get them some shots, open shots, because open is always better than contested, especially when you're talking about field goal percentage. So there's, I think, you know, for next year, in addition to our commitment that we already have, and he's the only commitment we have, so I'm a little nervous as to how many more commitments we're going to get, and the kind of quality that's left. Obviously, I think we're going to be relying on finding some of these players in the transfer portal. If Boston Holt is healthy next year, he could definitely play that 3 position and play it well, I think. But we still need depth. You know, he can't play 40 minutes and play him at the top of his game. And he's still developing as well. And it might take him a little while to knock the rust off with his knee injury. So, and who knows if he's going to be the athlete that he was before his knee injury. Hopefully he is, but nobody will know until he comes back. So that's that. We need a point guard. And that point guard not only has to be able to create his own shot and get to the rim and have good court vision and all that kind of thing, and be able to shoot from the outside, that point guard also has to be able to be quick enough, laterally and otherwise, to stay with the quick guards that he'll be guarding, instead of letting them get to the hoop all the time and, you know, draw the defense in and kick it out to wide open shooters, etc. So, yeah, we have a lot of personnel changes that need to be made, and we'll see how that goes. But now for the fun stuff, because I don't want to talk about that 10-game losing streak that we're still on. We're playing Oregon State on Thursday, tomorrow night, if you're watching this today, which is Wednesday, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Speaking of Groundhog's Day, I'm hoping that tomorrow isn't going to be a repeat of the last 10 games. You know, if I'm the groundhog, I'm hoping I'm not, you know, I'm hoping I'm not seeing my shadow. So anyway, okay, gymnastics, baby, let's go. Number 2. I said they're number 2 because they are, and they're amazing. And if you haven't come out to watch a game at the Huntsman Center, you need to go watch them. Quit looking at my whiskers. I know I need to shave. I'll shave maybe tomorrow, definitely. Anyhow, they have a ton of talent. They're very deep. They've got some stars, and not just one. They've got a few of them. They have Grace McCallum, who was an Olympian for the U.S. team, who won silver, and she's fantastic. She had a freshman meet a couple meets ago where she didn't do so well, but man, she's won the all-around twice, once against Oklahoma, and then this last week, when she also got a 39.65 or 39.625, something like that. I think it was 39.625. She's going to be great. She does some really high-level stuff, and she, for the most part, has been performing at a very high level. So I'm excited about what she can do. You know, the other thing about her is that because of her commitments to the Olympic team and then the tour that they did afterwards, she didn't get to campus until November. So she's only been with the team a couple of months now, and training on her routines that she's doing. So, I mean, the rest of them have been training all fall. So hats off to Grace for coming in and putting it together that quickly and doing as well as she's doing. She's a talented, talented young lady. They're all fantastic athletes. Now, in addition to her, we also have another Olympian from England's team, Emily Morgan. And she's competing right now in 2 events. Grace is on all 4 of them. She's competing in all around. And Emily's been pretty good at the 2 events she's competing in, and my hope is that she's going to be able to add an event or 2 over her career. We'll see. But right now we have so much depth at every position that that it's not crucial right now. I tell you what, we have another gal on our team who's a junior this year, and I'm not making any allowances for COVID or whatever. I think she's probably got 2 more years after this, because she was a sophomore last year during COVID, if I remember correctly, although I could be wrong, but I think that's the case. But last year in the national championship, she won the bars, the uneven bars, and she won the floor. She's not a specialist in either of those. She's done the all-around a few times. She doesn't usually do the vault. She does the beam, the bars, and the floor. But she has done the all-around. In fact, she did this last meet. She got a 10 on the beam. I was a little surprised last year when she won the bars and the floor, but not the beam, because this last weekend was the 2nd time she's got a 10 on the beam. So she's incredibly capable on the beam, but she's also got an amazing bar routine and a great floor routine. She's a fantastic gymnast, so keep your eye on Miley O'Keefe. Also, other gymnasts to keep your eye on are you've got one of my favorite, just because she's got great personality, and you can tell it when she performs, is let's see. Jeez, I'm having a little bit of a brain cramp here. Lucy Stanhope. Lucy Stanhope is also from England. So yeah, we've got 2 from England, and she has some personality, and it shines through in her gymnastics. She's fantastic. She's a sophomore, and she's not doing all around yet, but I think it won't be long before she is. But she's solid in the events that she does. Very fun to watch, and she does floor and I believe bars, and I think she's done exhibition on the beam, kind of preparing her for that. And I can't remember if she's ever done the vault, but yeah, she's great. She's great. Keep your eye out for her. Also, Sydney Solosky is a specialist. She's also a 5th-year senior, and she only does the floor, but man, she's got a great floor routine. She's the anchor on the floor. Jaden Rucker, she does typically, I think, 2 events. She does the vault and the floor, the first and the last event for home meets. And Jaden has just a great personality that really shines through on the floor, so keep your eye out for her. She also does a great vault too. So, by the way, vault is our weakest event. Beam, that 4-inch piece of wood, is our best event. We got a 49.725 last week in it, but it's typically our highest scoring event, with floor a close second, and sometimes they switch, but those 2 are typically our best, and then followed by bars, and then of course vault, which we haven't been doing as well at, although we're ranked 6th in the country on vault. So, but we are number 2 in the country as well. So then you've got a few others who, Crystal Issa is a senior, and her personality just shines through every time she performs, because she's always wearing an incredibly big smile. I mean, if you catch her without her smile during a routine, it's probably a little odd. It is a little odd, because her personality shines through, and she's really, really good. She does a triple on the beam, and the only one doing a triple right now, and I think probably later this season you might see a few others doing it, but she's solid. She is good, very good, and keep your eye out for her. And Abby Paulson's another one. Abby typically always does the beam, and I think it's the bars that's her other good event. She might do 1 or 2. She might do 3 events sometimes. I think she's probably capable of doing all around, but she's fantastic. She's also gotten to 10 in her career on the beam. So, and all these gals have kind of signature moves that they do, and they're just amazing to watch. Amazing to watch. There's more. I could talk about a few others. We've got Alexia Birch. We've got Adrienne Randall, who also has a signature move. And so yeah, it's they're great. They're going to be out of town this weekend. They're going to be playing UCLA, and that's going to be on ESPN2 on Friday night. Highly recommend watching that. Again, they're just fantastic. I mean, and they're number 2 in the nation. And UCLA usually has a pretty good team too. They aren't as good this year as they have been, but you know, over the last 5 years or so, they've won 2 national championships. So you're watching a quality product. They deserve to have eyeballs on them. Usually they sell out the Huntsman or come darn close to it. So, I mean, they're getting a lot better attendance than our men's basketball team right now, and deservedly so. So, they'll be home, I believe. Let me check the schedule for you real quick. I believe they're home the following Friday. No, sorry about that. So this Friday they're at UCLA. Next Saturday they're at California. Not on TV or any kind of medium like that. But the following Friday, February 18th, we are home to Oregon State, who is ranked and also has a U.S. Olympian on their team. Excuse me. But again, I can't recommend enough to come out and support them, because they are amazing. And then after that, they don't have any other home meets until Minnesota on March 4th. Minnesota from the Big Ten. And, you know, that should be a good meet as well. Then they finish the season away at LSU. And then it's on to the championships. They finished 3rd last year in the Nationals. And they could absolutely compete for the championship this year. Again, they are, you know, last year in the Nationals, they got their best score of the year. And it's very possible that they could get a 198 sometime here this season. And, you know, I would not be surprised if they win the national championship. I know I sound like a broken record, but get your butt to the Huntsman Center and watch these gals, because, man, they are good, and you will not be sorry. If you're a dude watching this and you're married or have a girlfriend, offer to take your wife or your girlfriend, because she will be impressed that you're supporting women's athletics, and they'll enjoy it, because, you know, a lot of women enjoy that kind of stuff. But, you know, my wife and I, we've been season ticket holders for a while. We really love it, and just, you know, it's just very entertaining, and almost every event, there's a whole bunch of wows on it, because, like I said, they are some very good athletes who do some very difficult things. So, that said, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to probably have a show over the next week or so where I talk a little bit about our football. We had National Signing Day today. Not a big deal. We signed one guy. We also accepted a couple of signatures from a couple of preferred walk-ons. But we did sign one scholarship wide receiver. He's 6'6", 210 pounds, freshman. And he's got 4.5 speed. Not bad for a 6'6" dude. And hopefully his size is definitely going to give him an advantage over most of the cornerbacks that he'll be up against. But, you know, with the early signing period for football, National Signing Day isn't nearly as big as it once was a couple of years ago before they started that early signing day thing. But I'll be doing I'll do a show talking about our class and how, you know, how it's going to impact us over the next couple of years, and next year especially. And then I'll also be back next week with another show on basketball. Yeah, I'll give a little coverage, and hopefully it'll be that we broke our darn losing streak. And then we'll also talk about gymnastics, of course. And then the following weekend, just a little teaser, I'm going to be in Kansas watching the Oklahoma-Kansas game. I have a young man who I coached when he was playing youth basketball. His name is Jalen Hill. He plays for Oklahoma. Really good kid. I'm going to try to get him on the show the following week or sometime whenever I can, depending on his schedule. But I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to get a little video of that, and then you can see what good basketball's about and where we need to be. So there you have it. Appreciate you staying with me this long. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I should have said that in the beginning because I probably got 2 of you watching to this point. But if you're one of those 2, thank you. I appreciate your time. I hope you got some value and or entertainment out of this. And if you did, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button down there. Share it with your friends. Share it with your Utah fan buddies, all that kind of thing. And we'll see you next time right here on the Utah Sports Report. And go Utes!